Yeah, we're not doing an intro today. It's a sad day. Not only are there technical difficulties, but it's not really a fun day.
Very
Um,
dark.
I mean, for a bunch of reasons, yeah.
No, I'm
Um,
just saying very dark, literally and figuratively. Like it's a dark day.
yeah. Um, so a few things we're gonna get into. So yeah, obviously the whole thing is a little weird today because um, kind of in a different place. Well, not really, but technical difficulties have enabled enabled dark phone mode.
Oh, so
Um,
you look like you recording for the Blair Witch Project. I mean, that's the way to be.
I mean, listen, it's fine. It's like I'm not in the bathroom, but I could be. Who knows? Who knows?
Broadcasting
Um,
from the killer's dungeon.
yeah, I mean, I'm on assignment is basically what I'm saying. I'm on assignment. Um,
Welcome into the X's and O's, everybody.
yeah. Um, all right, so we're gonna start dark, and then get into interesting, and then get into a draft. But yes, this is an abomination of a show at the moment, and I love it because that's what I don't know. I like it. I like the raw kind of like, well, things happened. Let's just kind of make do and figure it out. And we're figuring it out. So, I don't know if it's like national news, but at least locally, it feels like a national type of news thing, if that makes any sense. Um, so Mike Lange died, and anyone that's not really in the know, um, like a legendary Penguins announcer, um, literally 50 years with the team, 50, 50.
Okay.
So he was basically a bit more of a Jermaine with the team. Like that's you know what I mean? Like that is what that was. Um,
So if we compare football, it would be like Myron Cope or something like that.
um,
Because yeah,
it would be
because he
more of like a Bill Hillgrove kind of thing. But
Bill
yeah, yeah,
Hillgrove, yeah. Well, Myron Cope was, he was
yeah,
definitely a staple. I mean, of course, he has a terrible talent, but he did the announcing too, yeah. But Hargrove
yeah.
is like the play-by-play commentator, yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, if Hillgrove and Cope had a baby, that would be kind of the crux of that. So, like,
Okay.
it it's hard to kind of put it into words, right? Like this this guy was like a pillar um of that team. Like, you know, anybody that was local, you've heard his catchphrases. You know his raspy voice. You know, like it just I don't know. Like it's just it's a wild thing, man. And I don't usually romanticize celebrities or people that die, right? I'm just like, yeah, that's fine, but like care about Jamal or Tom or Janice that died. Like that stuff doesn't happen. But
Yeah.
like it's interesting when you actually have wouldn't say like a connection because that feels weird to say, but when that person has been a part of your life in a way from your childhood, it kind of hits different, right? Like it's not like you then understand when people like are down, insanely down about, an actor or an actress that they never met,
Yeah.
but they die and they're devastated. And it's like, dude, it's a fucking actor.
Hmm.
Like, what are you doing?
Hmm.
But until it kind of happens to you, I guess you're like, oh shit, I get it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I know when, people's like, "Oh, did you hear that Prince or Michael Jackson or something died?" And people will be like, "Yeah, I was crying all week." And I'm like, "You never met him." But like you said, it's a connection there that you don't have to actually physically meet the person. You just, identify, and you can kind of, like correlate with what they've done, their body of work, and that's your connection right there. Yeah.
I mean, you think about it, like my first memories of hockey were literally his voice. Like that. I mean, that is that right there. And then hearing him call them winning the cups, like that's, I don't know, but um,
Well,
definitely feels like.
whenever they would win the cup, wouldn't that be like a national announcer, like you talking about listening on radio at the same time?
Yeah, so like well, yeah, so they had him on the they didn't have him, but they had like the national broadcast, but yeah, like they had the radio play by play and yeah, so
Okay.
and generally speaking, that's what people were listening to. Like people were muting the TV
To
and
do. Okay.
right, like that's kind of what this guy was like. Who does that? Like that is not a normal thing. Usually you're like, shut up, I don't care, I'll listen to the national broadcast.
Yeah. Mm.
But Lang was such a he had an aura about him. um and it's just, he had cancer, died, I believe he was 74, and just kind of succumbed to it. And
What was that? Yesterday, a couple days
yeah,
ago.
yesterday. Yeah,
Yesterday.
yeah, I found out last night, and and it was crazy because I was telling Tiff, and I'm like, I saw it, and I was like, this isn't real. It's just whatever. And then I saw more news flowing out. I'm like, and like I got cold. Like I got physically cold. Like I've never. It was just it was such a weird experience and a weird kind of response to. I just I didn't. I and like I found myself having conversations out loud, like to myself, and it was just such a weird thing. Like I was like grieving someone I never met, but just and he hasn't been announcing for a while, for a few years, and it's not like I just heard the guy talking. Yes, no, it wasn't anything like that. But you held him in such a precedence that like he was on such a like a I don't even know, like he was just in the stratosphere of, like, he was more than an announcer, right? He was like he was the voice of the Penguins. Like that's what he was. um like when you think of Penguins, you think of Mario, you think of Yager, you think of Sid, and you think of Mike Lang. Like I don't think the guy ever put a skate on in his life, but he, I don't know, just it's a sad day. It was almost like a day of mourning, man. Um,
Mm.
and you yourself said, you're not a hockey guy, You don't know much about him, but I I promise you with every ounce of my being that you have heard his sayings. You've heard his voice, and you're like, oh, that was him? Like, it's going to be that kind of thing. But I just felt like it was important to dedicate some time to that, and I guess just get that off my chest and my head, because yeah, I mean, I've been like generally down, like it's been like you know.
Rest in peace, yeah, to Mike Lange. Yeah, I'm not extremely familiar. I mean, I know, the year they won the cups and stuff like that. I probably watched. Those are probably the years that I watched the most hockey I probably watched. Um,
Yeah.
or the times that they're in the playoffs and they got a deep run. Um, like you said, Lemieux, Yager, and then you figure Sid and Malkin and stuff like that in those years. But yeah, I thought he was a player. But you
Mm-mm.
you told me, yeah, he's a legendary announcer. Um, Rest in peace to him. Yeah, just don't know too much about it.
Yeah, just cancer,
As a
cancer.
Pittsburgh fan, I'm a Pittsburgh fan. I don't
Well,
know.
I mean, once again, I mean, if it's not your sport, it's not your sport. It's kind of like, what are you gonna do? But um, the other thing, and I text you this, and you didn't text back, and I'm assuming because it didn't make a ton of sense, and that's fine. Because I figured you would just roll with it on the pod, and we would go with it and figure it out.
Yeah,
So,
whatever it exactly means. I don't know the exact example you're going to use, but
well, that's the
you know,
fun part. You're gonna be able to pivot off that and be like, oh yeah, I'm like, yeah, that's how that's gonna go. It's gonna be great. I promise. Um, so, um, I have been doing the driving thing, delivering stuff as I'm waiting for people to actually hire me. But I've also been taking the boy to school, um, 3 days out of the week. Now, the thing is, it's about a 40-minute drive and about a 25-mile trek. All right. So, all in all, it takes about an hour and a half round trip, because based on how the timing is, and for 3 trips, and I'm counting the time to go back home, because
yeah,
it's not like the gas and the time doesn't count, because he's not in the car. I wouldn't be going there. I wouldn't be going there if it wasn't for him. So,
yes, yes.
so we have the tank. I think it's like a 13-gallon tank. I don't know, but it's like 330 miles when it's full, right?
Okay.
W- Basically, in a 2 weeks time, he is costing us a tank of gas and adding 300 miles of driving every 2 weeks. Now,
And a tank usually typically runs what nowadays? 50,
about
45?
45, yeah. 45, yeah,
No,
right around there, yeah.
okay.
Um, Now he pays for that. I told him, like, yeah, I mean, here's the thing. You do have a job, but you also picked a school that was relatively far away with no idea how to get there. Um, you don't have room and board. You have a free ride. You don't have to worry about food, all that other fun stuff. Since I'm taking you, you do need to take care of what you're using. And I did this for about 3 weeks. And I then had some thoughts. And here's kind of where everything kind of came to a head. I kind of thought about this and I realized, okay, the days I have to take you, that means I can't really start my work till at least an hour and a half after I actually want to start, which then makes me have to bleed in to more of a rush hour time later in the day, which is detrimental because it adds it all in all, me having to do that adds about 2 hours to my workday. Um, which doesn't cost me more money, but it does because I don't like to be out any longer than 2 in the afternoon. Anything after that, that's where things get all hectic. I don't want to deal with it. Things slow down, the money trickles in. It's not great. Um, tickly, tickly, tickly. That's fine. Tickly. Typically, I'm making about after without any tax, I'm making about $20 an hour. So that hour and a half that I'm taking him is costing me $30 a day, which equates to what 150 every week, right? No,
Well, you said only 3 days, so
yeah, yeah, my bad. Nine. Okay, so that's 90.
$90. Okay.
Um, not a lot, but still, it's costing money. Plus, the extra wear and tear on the car. Um, I
Yeah, I mean,
realize it's
you said it's not costing you no extra money, but we all know the old adage of time is money and money is time. So if it's
right.
taking time, then it is costing you money.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, and also there are less people waiting at that depot in the morning. There's just less, so there's more money to be had. So technically, it is. But after once once 10 or 11 hits, that's where because I usually try to start at like 8. You know, I try to do that. I try to make about 120 to 150 a day and be done by 2, and I'm done. On the days that I was doing that, I wasn't able to start till probably 10:30, 10:45. So you can see how that would kind of fall apart. Um, I realize that with the money that we are saving by not having to put, well, here, let me see here. All right. So, do I still have this up here? Let me see. Um, okay. I'm going to read this off. So, potentially hinders making what I need to make since rush hour. Okay. Oh, it also adds a day more than likely that I have to work a week since I aim to make 120 a day. So because I try to stop before 2 because after that it just becomes between like 2 and 5. It's not great. I'm basically having to work an extra day a week, so I'm working 6 days a week, which at this point I'm just kind of over it. And it's actually we have to drive him 70 miles a day if he actually works because it's taking him to and from. One thing I did, you can hear me, right? We're still good.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. One thing I did notice, and I put this in my little list. I was like, I've never received a thank you, which kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Wasn't I didn't make the decision because of that, but it's just something I noticed. I'm like, this motherfucker never said thank you. I'm like, fuck you. Um, I did say this would eventually be the case. Like he would have to do this anyway once I actually got a real job. Um, the bus process would take just as long getting there as it would for me to do a round trip from him for him. Um,
Mm.
he has money in the bank, understanding it costs more to go there than he brings in, but that is a part of life. He doesn't have to worry about room and board or food. This is a trade off. Still has it relatively easy, saves on giving gas money. Um, and here's the other math part. Even if we have to cover his books, that's 350 we save every 4 months on not taking him to and from on the 3 days a week. That balances out, minus the extra wear and tear, uh, on the car. So I had a bevy of reasons. Um, and I get it can be looked as selfish, but I said, okay, I'm not doing this anymore. Because the other part of it, and I told him this, I'm starting to grow a small resentment to you because of this. And I don't want to. And I need to stop because I need to not look at you and be irritated. Because that's what was starting to happen. Because I'm working and I realize I'm driving for work, so I'm already eating some gas. But knowing that I could start off on, like, basically this is what would happen. It would be Monday morning. There'd be, because we have the gauge on there, it shows you how many miles you have till you're empty. We would leave the house, we'd be at 200. I would get to work. After I drop him off, I'd be at 140 or 150. Like, for whatever reason, and I think it's because I'm always cognizant of it because I'm driving all the time. So I'm aware of where the gas is. So seeing that, it just was grinding at me. And I just had to think about it, and I had to really sit down and wonder, okay, is this just because of whatever, or is there actually something behind it? And I think I had a really well thought out, thing, and he took it well. Like, he understood. I mean, he was not like, yay, but it's also like, well, kid, look, you're 19 and in college. Like, you don't have to worry about these other things, but understand, like, we're paying for your school. You gotta do something.
Well, you said, I mean, when you get a job, a different job besides this one, I mean, you can't do it
It's gonna
anyway,
be the
right? I
case.
mean,
Right, exactly.
like you don't even have the time to do it. Like you can't. You physically just can't. So it's
Right.
like either either you continue as you're going down the same path and then boom, cold turkey, or you wean them off now. But so when you do get the job, he's already in a routine or a rhythm of what he needs to do. I
Yeah.
mean, so it's costing him pretty much double the time on the bus. Is that the
Well,
only
no,
trade off? I
he's
mean,
no, he's doing the Uber still. Like, yeah, that's the thing. Like, he does the Ubers on the 2 days. Now he's doing Ubers 5 days.
oh, okay.
But
Oh, okay. So the 3 days that you were taking him, okay, and then the other 2 days he would do the Uber.
right,
Okay, so now he's going Uber 5 straight days. Okay,
yeah.
and how much is that?
It's probably about 40 each way.
Whew.
Yeah,
So
and
you're
it's
losing
not great.
90. He's adding on 80, so it's kind of shaking out. I mean, uh,
And that's
mm.
why that's kind of why I texted how I texted to you. I was like, financial decisions that potentially could seem selfish, but I feel like if I was doing it because I just didn't want to do it, that'd be different. But knowing that by taking you affects the actual money coming in, like that's the biggest thing, and knowing
Let me
that,
ask you this: was
yeah.
if there was a plethora or a bevy of pleases and thank yous and all of that, would that even make a difference? I mean, I understand
Fuck
you say you
no.
never really. I was about to say,
No. You know what doesn't pay the bills? Pleases and thank
pleases
yous.
and thank yous. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, I understand you say you don't get a thank you, but I'm like, what if he was extremely appreciative and told you all the time and damn near kiss your feet every time? That still doesn't change the
Yeah.
consequences. I mean,
No, it's just the
uh,
reality of it, man. Like this is life, and you have it really, really easy from the college kid standpoint. I mean, you honestly, really, really, you're in that upper 10% where you don't have to worry about the normal things college kids have to worry about.
mm,
You just don't. Um,
yeah.
and I felt guilty about even having the conversation and having these thoughts and even doing this, but I also realized it's like, okay, look, I right now I need to be available to make money, and taking 2 hours of that availability is not like, and it's funny, like the first day I sent him a text and I was like, well, on the time that I would have left, actually no, this is from 8 to 9. I showed him, I was like, I made $35 from 8 to 9, right? We usually leave at 9. I'm like that right there is kind of proof enough. It's like these these particular peak times, like that's where, one, I can make the money I need to make, and two, I don't have to be out all day. Like I don't want to have to. Like I don't want to do that. I don't want to work 6 days a week. I don't want to do that. I don't. uh
Yeah, and you said
like I'm
also,
fucking tired.
and you said also that he doesn't have to worry about the things that other college students, because I went to college, and yes, room and board was huge. Trying to find out, where you living at, how much that cost, and so on and so forth. Getting some food, being able having to find somewhere to scrape up money to wash clothes.
Right.
Uh, yeah, um, the typical college student is taking on a lot of just simply just going to school, simply going to class and coming back, and that ain't enough. That ain't the whole story.
Right.
So yeah, if he comes home, he's got food, has a place to stay, So
I mean,
I
and
mean,
the other part of it, obviously, he's going to, because he's looking for a different job anyway, because his hours aren't really there anyway.
okay,
Um, but I mean, at the current standpoint, he is spending more than he's getting in. We know that. Um, but also he realizes that we were never going to let him get to the point where he can't get to school
yeah,
because of money. Like we will do what we have to do. I will. I'm not gonna make, because Tiff, she has a actual big person job. Um, I'll make sure that, I mean, as long as I'm in this position now, if it has to be a thing where, well, actually, no, he could just take the bus. So no, it would never have to come to that. Like we wouldn't have to like sacrifice our jobs to get him there, because he can take the T downtown, and then there's a bus downtown that takes him to his campus. The thing is, it's just like an hour and a half commute there, which sucks, but
yeah, that would be my. I mean, the Ubers get paying those high Ubers do get old really quickly, and I know the
yeah,
bus takes a
yeah,
little longer, but
yeah,
sometimes you have to sacrifice that time. You gotta leave that
right,
much earlier, and plan for that much longer of a ride. I mean, a bus trip is $2.75. I
right,
mean, as opposed to a $40 Uber one way and one way back. That's
yeah,
$80 as opposed to $5.50, five
Yeah,
dollars and 50 cents. I mean,
right.
I understand the hours is you gotta plan
I
around those
mean, and even
hours,
if you
but
just did it one way, right? If you just did the Uber one way,
at
you did it when you
least,
came,
yeah. Like,
do it when you
okay,
come home.
maybe do the
Okay,
Uber, maybe do the Uber to get there because you're on a time limit and you want to get there. And then on coming home, you got all day. You don't have to rush. Just get on
yeah,
that bus and just however long it takes you, however long it takes you. You know.
yeah. But I
Mm.
felt selfish and I felt a little shitty about it, but I also realized it's like,
Well, what did Tiff say? I mean, like how is she taking it? What is she?
well, and this is the crazy thing. I had this all written up to tell her, and she was like, "You're the one that's doing it. Fucking, I don't
Tell
care.
him.
Do whatever you got to do." I was like,
I thought
I'm
you had
like,
to pretty much convince her before you even said a word to really him. You know, like,
listen,
hey, I gotta convince you.
that's what I was thinking, man. I'm sitting here like, all right, I got my bullet points. I got a fucking PowerPoint. I got my
He
Excel,
had his
I got an Excel
rebuttals. He
spreadsheet,
had
right?
contingency
And she was like,
plans and
and she was just like, look, you're the one that's doing it. You make the call. I'm like, you fucking bitch. Can't you like argue with me or something? Like,
oh man. Yeah, I thought you would get the most resistance. I thought she would be like, "You can do it, just blah 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 blah." That she would just, of course, be
like
on,
it,
take his side all the way.
and it felt strange because she didn't agree, but she didn't disagree. She was just like, okay, what do you mean okay?
That's weird. It's like you rehearse to argue with someone and they give you no resistance, and you're like, "Hold on, we're gonna argue about something now."
Right. Like, but
uh,
he took it okay. I mean, he wasn't
like you said,
thrilled with it, but he wasn't upset. I think because I read the same thing off to him. I was like, okay, here are the points. Like these are the bullet points here. This is why I'm making this decision. And I understand I love you and I care about you and I want you to be okay, but I also I I have to take care of these other things too. And and on our side, taking you there is no longer worth it. And I mean that from a financial, you know, wear and tear of the car thing, unnecessary wear. I mean, once again, well, you drive. I get that, but I'm making money. I'm not costing money.
joyriding. Yeah.
Right.
Well, so
Um,
when you was taking them, you was taking them all the way there, coming all the way back, and then going back all the way back out there, picking them
no,
up, and then coming all the way
no,
back.
no. I was
Oh,
taking,
oh, okay.
yeah, I was taking him, and then yeah, if I took him, if I did that, that's $300. That's 300 miles a week.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So you
Um,
were only making one trip. Okay, yeah.
yeah, but
Okay.
like in order for me in because my quote unquote job is like 1.8 miles away from the house. So I'm literally having to go one direction and then backtrack the complete opposite direction to get back to go to work. So it's not even like it's on the way. Like I'm literally just going from home there and then there to basically home to
Yeah.
drive more. And anyone that's driven, like, it gets tiresome after a while. You just get like, you're driving through downtown and through South Side, and you've added an hour and a half to it already in a pseudo rush hour thing. You're just like, and then knowing you're not making any money off that hour and a half trip, you're
Yeah.
just like, I don't,
Well, I told
you
you. I'm not trying to say I told you, but I told you. Said I like driving. I enjoy driving. I was like, just wait a little longer. That
Oh
story's
no,
gonna change.
I enjoy the part I'm doing now, but like starting it off with that, knowing that it was costing me money and costing me time, that that bled in, like, it put me in a not great place. Um But I get it. Um, but I'm glad I made the decision. Now, what about you though? Right? So this isn't just like a one man show here. I wanted to kind of put this in your court. Have you ever had to make a decision that was conceivably selfish, but uh, benefited the greater good?
um, you said seems like it's selfish. Uh,
Or it could have been like construed as selfish from outsiders' point of view.
mm,
I mean, you can even bend it. You can even bend the words like this and go. Have you ever had to make a decision where, like, you knew it was going to be equitable, financially or time wise in the future, but those around you couldn't see it?
mm. Thinking,
It's kind of a deep one. I get it.
yeah, just come off the cuff with one. I don't really have any because it's most of the time I'm making the decisions that I don't even have the alternative to to think about it this way and as opposed to that way. It's either straight up this way. I'm trying to think. Hmm. There's been some. I mean, I can think of some instances where it was kind of the opposite though. It wasn't like I made the decision that I'm going to inconvenience myself by catching the bus somewhere, as opposed to having the car and keeping the car all day. Um, at said job, plenty of times, I could easily, I would take the car there and let it sit in the parking lot, but I chose to get dropped off and not have the car there, so my ex can do the running around and picking up my daughter and stuff from school, and you know, going to her job. I mean, she had a part-time job at the time, um, so, actually it was the opposite. I haven't been in any really instances where I'm going to sit there and say, no, you know what, you know, it's beneficial for me to have it because I mean, if I'm at work and the car sitting in the parking lot, I'm not, I'm not making any money by the car sitting in the parking lot, and neither was
Right.
she, but at the same time,
It's
I
more
could have been
beneficial for it to
selfish
be
there.
there, and yeah.
Yeah, I could have been selfish and said, no, my car's not moving, because we're both riding dirty, and neither one of us had a legitimate license. So I could have easily said, "Well, I don't want my car driving around because, you know, you every hour, every chance, or every place you go, there's an opportunity to get pulled over." You know,
Right.
and but yeah. I mean, as far as a situation where it makes more sense financially or money wise, but it comes off as selfish. I'm gonna get back to you on that one. I don't
Okay.
have one right off the cuff.
No, that
I don't
look,
have one right off the
it's
cuff.
it was a weird one. Um,
But what
I
makes you
feel
think he comes off as selfish? I mean, you laid out the book. Now, if you would have just said, you know what, I'm tired of taking you, and that's it, then it gets. I mean, but you had, hey, here's the peak times, here's the amount of money, here's the wear and tear. The main thing is the wear. To me, the thing that outdoes, that supersedes all of the reasons you have to me is the wear and tear on the car. I just don't like the idea of just beating down a car for no reason. If you could save trips on a car, by all means do it, because it's not just the miles you're putting on the car, but that's one more that's one more trip, 40 minutes this way, that the alternator is belt is running down, the battery is being used, and like all of those things on the car, that you pay to get the brakes are a little bit thinner. You know what I mean? You just told me about the whole, getting brakes and rotors and all that being
Sure
1,200.
did.
So to me, this I wouldn't have really laid out any points, but I'm not putting all those miles on the car. We
No,
need
that's
that
fair.
car. We need that car for us to get around, all of us to get around. If the car breaks
Yeah.
down taking you to school, then guess what? We don't got a car to do
And look, I'm
anything.
not gonna lie,
No, none of us.
McKeesport is such a shithole too. Like,
Oh, it really is. Oh,
roads are fucking terrible.
I'm
I've
surprised they got
been.
a campus all the way out there. I mean, I'm surprised they built one way
Well, it's
out
because
there.
it's
Yeah.
closer to fucking. It's closer to White Oak than McKeesport, I would say. Like it's right on
Okay.
that little. It's right on that little cusp. But yeah. I don't know, man. It felt bad because I don't know. It's not like he did something to deserve the offer to be rescinded. It just uh kind of one of those deals where it just made. I don't know.
My other question to you is why did you even, not saying why did you even start it, but why did y'all even, I mean, you should have, this alternative plan should have been in place from the very beginning. Like you going and taking them should have been like a last resort type thing, not just, a constant routine.
Well,
I would have never let
well,
it
it
become a
it
routine
wasn't.
for him to
It
get
was.
used
I mean,
to.
it was only a routine for about 2 weeks. Before he was Ubering all the time. Like that was what he was doing.
Okay.
Then to ask me, I was like, yeah, sure. I don't really see the problem with that. That's fine. Until I saw the problem with it. I was like, oh.
He said, I don't see a problem with it until I saw a problem with it.
And I was like, yep, there's some problems there. There are some problems to be spoken about, and we need to have a conversation. Which that conversation was like, okay, okay,
Have you thought about any of the meet in the middle type thing? And what I mean by that is take them downtown. Is that even worse? Like at least cut out one bus and then, catch the bus from downtown. I'm pretty sure downtown from Beachview to downtown is a way shorter ride. You can cut out one bus, but still,
yeah,
you're during your peak hours, so you're still missing money at that point.
yeah. I mean, it's kind of one of those deals where it wouldn't. Um, he would have to kind of ride with me because I'm then basically having to go over the Liberty Bridge and then navigate downtown between like 8 o'clock and 8:30 in the morning. And
Uh, Trust me,
yeah, so
I've been on that road, like you said, coming right out of the tunnels, and then you go across that bridge that leads to downtown. It's a log jam, yeah, around that
yeah,
time.
so
Mm,
like that's gonna be like a 40 minute, and at that point I should just take him.
yeah.
But um, uh, yeah, and it's not even like I get jobs out in the Keysport, so I can't even like swoop them after class. I don't.
I was saying, if you had a big major job that you could take all the way to McGee's for, then it would make sense. Like, okay, and you get a big large
And
trip,
I could
large trip.
I could uh broaden the range. Like I have it at 10 miles. That's the furthest I'll go out. And I don't even do that anymore because I refuse. I stopped going to Etna. I stopped going to Homestead. Stopped going to Munhall. Um, and I think that's it. Because it's just not worth it, and the tips aren't there. It just is what it is. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna spend the time doing that. to not get, because every time I have to go to Ed, I have to go up that shitty Rialto Street, and that's fucking terrible.
Mm.
Do you know Rialto Street? Okay, look at my hand. That's the road. That's how it goes. The road is that,
That's steep. Yeah.
and it's about a car and a half wide. So
That didn't work.
I will get a picture and I'll send it to you, and you'll be like, "Oh, that's fucked." I'm like, "Yeah, it's fucked. It's terrible." So,
But yeah,
um,
I wouldn't feel selfish about it. I mean, you made a decision, and you have a bunch of reasons behind it. I don't really necessarily put that in the selfish category, but
yeah,
it is your kiddo, and I know you feel like
yeah,
trying to. I mean, we as parents, we want to make it, not saying
it'll
we
make
want to
it
make it
easy
as
for
easy
them,
as possible. Yeah, I mean, you want them to go through some type of trial and tribulation because it builds character. But if you
right?
can, remove some obstacles and some barriers, you want to try to, because we grew up with tons of them, and there was no
Right,
help. You know,
right. What you want to do is you want to make their lives better than yours. That's the kind of the whole goal.
that's the goal. Yep, that's the
But you're also
that's the
like,
chain.
I'm not gonna make my life more difficult than it needs to be to make your life easier, because you have dick hair. Like you'll figure it out. You'll be fine.
Yeah, yeah, that's the goal, pretty much. You want your children to have a little bit easier than you, and hopefully their children to have a little bit easier than them, and goes so on and so forth. Yeah.
Right. So anyway, I did spin the wheel.
Okay.
And it's an interesting one.
Okay.
The draft today is going to be things that are better at night than during the day. Okay? Now, I did the the number generator thing, and I did get the first pick,
Okay.
and it's the 101 is very, very easy. It's very simple. It's sleep. It's sleep.
Yeah.
Um I can't sleep during the day. I'm not built for it. I've tried to
I
do
can.
that's because you're broken and
I'm
didn't get enough help as a child. Um,
I could turn this apartment right into a coffin, and in the middle of at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and you'll never know the difference.
yeah, I am not built. I can't even nap. I'm so bad at it. Like I didn't know you could be bad at sleeping, but apparently I'm. It's not in my skill set. I don't know. So, um, for the obvious reasons, I'm going to sleep.
All right. Oh, that's Taylor, boy. Uh, my first one, I'm gonna say for me anyway. Say watching a movie. I
Okay.
don't recall. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I can go to a
Good.
theater I go to a matinee theater at 2 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that. But typically, when you're going to see a movie, it's at least 7, 8 o'clock ish. And
Well, I feel like with a movie, if you go to an actual movie theater, like it's so dark in there that you don't
yeah,
have
you
any
can you can go
idea.
at any time.
You
But yeah,
lose
I'm
the
talking about like
immersion.
if I'm like watching it on my TV or something like that,
Right.
and I don't want the sunlight to come in. Like if you know how we
Yeah.
got these two movies that we have to watch. If you said hey, let's watch Devil's Advocate or American X and sit. let's watch these during the day. I'm gonna be like, nah, man, we gonna wait till later.
Right. Okay.
It just has to be dark. I don't know what that's about, but it just has
No, makes sense. Makes sense. All right. Because I want to hurt you. Uh,
to.
that's what I like to do in these drafts. My number two is gonna be drinking. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I was gonna say go to a bar, but I guess it's the same thing. Most people, even anybody in a bar that's in the daytime, it's like, what are you doing?
dude, I saw someone get dropped off because I had to run down to Coons because Tiff put in an order. I saw this dude get dropped off at the bar at 3 in the afternoon. I'm like, you are fucking pathetic. Holy shit.
Well, I mean, you can't.
You.
I used to think that too. It was this one bar in the Ambridge, or it's called the Colonial, and people would be going in there waiting on the bar to open at like 6, 7 o'clock a.m. And I'm like, what are y'all doing? But these are the people that work the graveyard shift, and let's suppose they work
Okay. That's fair.
2 a.m. I mean, till 6 a.m. and they want to go. I mean, they don't have a happy hour or whatever. They can't wait till the normal time that everybody go to the bar. They want to have a drink at
Yeah.
6 a.m. So I mean, you can't really judge people's patterns. Because at first I was like, man, them is super winos. You waiting at the bar at 6 o'clock, and somebody explained it to me right in that same breath. They was like, nah, those are the people from the grave getting off on the graveyard shift. They're going to have a drink. What's wrong with that? And I was just like, he was like, when you get off your work, don't you want to have it? I'm like, yeah, you got a point.
Yeah. Well, because their 6 a.m. is like or other people's like 4 or 5 p.m.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I don't know, like once you surpass a certain age, day drinking really isn't a thing anymore.
yeah,
So there's just something about the I don't know, the aura of drinking at night. It just feels right if you're gonna do it. I don't know. I don't
yeah,
have a better way to put it. It just
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, you've seen me. I've been had a couple, beers on Sunday or something like that, but I can't really get hammered. Like I can't go into more than two or three beers or something like that. I'm not trying to get smashed until
Right.
I don't know. Some reason it has to be dark. It just I don't. After
Yeah.
so many during the day, I mean, maybe at like a picnic or something, or
Right.
a,
Like
a
there is
cookout or something like
exceptions.
that.
Right.
Yeah,
But if it's like a
I'm
Wednesday,
not
you're
getting
not gonna be
shit
drinking it.
faced.
Right. You're not gonna
Yeah.
start drinking at 11 a.m. on a Wednesday. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Stop it. You have a fucking
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah. So you took drinking in the bar, but can I take the club? Like clubbing? Or is that all in the bar, you think, wrapped up into
No,
a
I mean,
bar?
I feel like, I don't think clubs are open
Like,
during the day, but like,
there are some.
I kind of feel like no.
Like, who's going to get their dance on or they freak on in the daytime? It's just not
Yeah,
happening. Like, the
that's
South
like
Side is not
if
jam.
if you do, like those bitches are like the D squad, like the they are like
uh,
laid off. They are laid off nurses at that point.
like bitches on Mad Max the Fury, or whatever those. Yeah, nobody is. The South Side jam every weekend, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. South Side be jam packed on Carson. Not during the
Yep.
daytime. Ain't nobody walking around in the daytime.
No, I
Is
mean no.
I mean,
There's plenty of
oh,
people
there's
walking
people
around.
walking around,
They are
but they're
just
like
not.
going to eat
They're
something or yeah,
there are weird people that walk around in the daytime in Southside. They're weird. Very. There are a lot of holes in them. A lot of holes.
so nobody's going to dance or club in the daytime.
Yeah.
So definitely got to do that at night.
Okay. So it sounds silly and serene and boring, but going for a walk.
You think it's better to walk at night than daytime?
Yeah, yeah. So here's why. There's less people, there's less distractions. You get to actually, if you're going with somebody, then you can focus more in on the conversation or what have you. You don't have to worry about being hit by a car necessarily and things like that. Yes, there is the inherent dangers of
That's what I was going to say. Put an asterisk by that, and it depends on where you're walking at night or
yeah.
what
See, I'm not gonna
neighborhood you're
walk
in. Because
right. I'm not gonna take a stroll at Homewood at 9 at night.
yeah, I was about to say. I was just thinking the same exact city too, Homewood. I was like, oh, so you just want to walk around Homewood at night, like, hey, honey, let's go for a walk in Homewood and get robbed.
Right, right. Let's go get an ice cream. Fuck. Oh man, that's how you get iced. Shit.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. He
no,
said
like
ice cream.
obviously,
That's how you get iced.
like obviously, yes. Geographically, indicative that that matters, but I'm saying just let's just enter any town USA, right?
Okay.
Um, just the idea of taking a it can even be like an evening stroll, right? Like a twilight stroll. Like, it doesn't have to be like 11 at night,
Yeah.
but it's just and then especially if it's in the summer, you got that coolish shit. That's yes. Let's go. It's beautiful.
Mm, mm. All right. What's the tip? Uh, see, this is this. It doesn't matter when you do this, but you can daytime, nighttime, but
I know what you're gonna pick too. You fucking
you
slob.
know,
God,
you
I
know,
know.
sex. Uh,
Yeah, I fucking knew
I
it.
mean, you could definitely do the sex in the daytime because it's definitely done happen plenty of times, but typically, if you live with kids or you live with anybody besides you and your partner,
Yeah,
y'all typically are trying to get that act done at nighttime when people are asleep
yeah.
or
That's
not
yeah.
worried about you. I mean, you're not going to be in midday just you hear headboards rocking in the middle of the day. Like it's just not appropriate, really. You know, I mean, if you're gonna get,
I mean, I bet there's some science behind that there too somewhere. I get it. There's absolutely some science there.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with getting, some mouth and lip service in the daytime, but it's full
Right.
blown sex, full blown missionary, or any type of movement with the body, a lot of movement. It's typically gonna be at night.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that
Uh,
makes sense. Yeah. Hmm.
but it's not
Um.
restricted to night. But
No, no. But I mean, this is the to what you believe in is better at night than day. So
okay,
you know, can't really poke holes in. Can't really poke holes in that. I mean, you can. Uh. Um.
Tim, Tim.
No. No tilt. No tilt. I mean, I'm 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 tilting on how I want to explain it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go eating.
I was thinking that too, but
Well, here's my
you gotta just
explanation.
say dinner. Like you can't like
There you
if you
go.
getting
There
a
you go.
breakfast or
There it is.
a sandwich, you eat light during the day. But if you want
There
to
you
eat that
go.
heavy meal,
Same fucking person. Same person. God damn it, same person. No, that's the exact reason because you know who who's like, oh man, I'm looking forward to breakfast. I'm looking forward to lunch. I'm looking forward to dinner, motherfucker. Let's go.
Like,
Like,
who's having the 9-course meal at 1 o'clock in the afternoon? Like, they got the plate with the roll and the whole nine in the
you're like,
daytime or
I
in the
had
morning.
the best turkey sandwich and chips today. When? For lunch? What are you, gay? Shut the fuck up. Stop it. Like,
Imagine
no
somebody
one's
walking up to you like, yeah, man, I had a steak and lobster. Like, I had a full blown, like, or like casserole or lasagna or something like that. Like,
right.
yeah, man, I had a nice helping of lasagna and butter rolls. When'd you
Damn, really?
have it?
When? 2 p.m. The fuck?
Yes.
What are you, a psychopath? What the fuck is your job? Stop it. Like,
Yeah, that's a good one.
it just,
Nobody having a full course meal in daytime. It's not happening.
right.
Yeah.
And like, even if you have the best breakfast ever, you are hungry an hour and a half later. You're like, I have never eaten in my life ever. What happened?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and all lunches is pre-gaming for dinner. That's it. All that fucking is.
Yeah. 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 Hmm. Well, you got your 4. I am
Sure did.
full blown, full blown tilt here in this last one. Oh man. No. Mm, no. I would say I know I take my shower sometime at night when I'm done with all my stuff, but most people take their shower in the
Ooh,
morning when they first
I was
start.
gonna say, don't be a. I will cancel this podcast. If you say anything dumb like that again. Holy shit! Oh my
Yeah, I
god, I
can't
mean,
use that one.
like
Definitely can't use that
psychos
one.
take showers. Oh my god, those people are real. Those people are scary to me. Like how do you
Boy,
take a shower at night and then go to sleep and all your fucking whatever and
all
whatever's
that, so
happening?
yeah, and then it
Hey,
gets right back on you. Yeah, like me, it's like a ending of my day. Like I don't like showers at the end of the day just kind of signify the end of the day. But if I'm going to like if I'm getting up and going somewhere the next day, that's because I work
right,
from home. If I'm getting up and going somewhere the next day, I am either gonna wait for that shower or I'm taking another one in the morning before I go to work. I
right.
don't. Yeah, I don't take the shower before and then get up and hurry up and brush your teeth and run out. I mean, it's kind of defeats the purpose.
We'll bet.
Um, hmm, let's see. Yeah, I'm calling on this one.
Yeah, there's not a lot. I mean, it's definitely not driving.
Uh,
Driving at night is fucking terrible.
I hate it. I hate it. Yeah, that's definitely not it. Uh, let me get the button. I'm just thinking to myself, like I'm sitting there trying to think of something, and I'm like, what is people outside doing right now? It's nighttime.
Yeah.
Nothing. Everybody's in the house, man. They're relaxing, resting, watching TV. We already used that one. I don't know about you. I mean, but most of the time when I play my PlayStation, it's late. Like it's nighttime. I don't really play all during the day. I know my
But
son
you're
likes to
also
play a lot.
working though.
What happened?
So
Yeah,
let me. So if you okay, let me ask you this: if you weren't working, would that still be the case?
probably because I don't. I
Okay.
don't know. I'm just a like I've had, or been over friends' houses where we woke up, maybe like Saturday in the noon and, you know, smoke a little bit, play some video games. But most of the time, it's nighttime, man. And if we're doing it specific to me, like to myself, yeah, I think it's
Okay.
better at night. Yeah, I'm gonna go video gaming because it seems like sometimes if you video gaming throughout the day, whether you could be the hardest working man in America, but people kind of there's a stigma that goes behind it. It's like if you're playing video games during the day, are you like a no good lazy type of person? Like do you get
Okay.
that vibe or feeling like if you
I mean,
see
I would say maybe like 20 years ago, yeah. But I think now, with
yeah
so many different types of work you can do.
systems and how much the industry has woven itself into the fabric of our culture, video gaming is not considered you know
It's not taboo.
taboo or bad for you. But when you were younger, like you said, like then past Nintendos and PlayStation 1 and all that, older folks thought video games were, you know, I don't know, they thought they were bad for you. They almost thought that they consumed you, or I don't know. I don't
I
know
mean,
how to
these are also
explain
the people that were drinking scotch daily. So, like
They just
kindly,
took a swig of scotch, came out of the kitchen, and told you, "Get off them video games."
right, as they backhand their wife, it's like, okay, that's cool. Kindly fuck off.
Oh man,
That's always
man! I'm
kind of
telling you, there's
endearing.
a real obvious one that we are leaving out. I'm trying to think. There's got to be something else that's way better at night than during the day. But as I sit here and think about who's outside right now, we covered them.
I mean, okay, so would it be? And I'm not thinking. Well, I'm going to say the word, and I don't. And there's going to be an obvious thing that comes to your head. Okay, I don't know what happened, but I took one sock off real quick. I'm not really sure why I took a sock off, but I have one sock on and one sock off. I don't know what happened or when this happened.
I don't think I've ever seen you wear a pair of socks in my life.
Well, motherfucker, now I'm driving all the time. I gotta wear the shoes, and it's snowy and shit. Mm. But um, um, not relaxing, but uh, so I'm gonna say meditate, but I don't mean it in the sense of like what you would think of when you
That type of shit.
meditate. I'm thinking more like you were just alone with your thoughts, and you are able to you're able to compartmentalize things and slow things down. Maybe meditation is not the right word for it, but I would like honorable mention wise, I guess I would say um yeah, I have to go meditate. I can't think of a better.
Okay.
It's like meditate with an asterisk because my definition of it is not sitting, with your legs crossed and your two fingers in the air.
Yeah.
Um,
You know
it's
what I
kind of
was
like
thinking as an honorable mention, but
yeah,
no. I know the players that play these sports, they like to play under the lights, but I don't know. Sunday afternoon, it's something about the NFL games on the Sunday after. Like you gotta have it in the day. But those players like to play those night games, though. So, but I don't know. I
yeah,
mean, fantasy wise, of course I love the, the Sunday, the morning, the
yeah.
afternoons, and the 4 o'clock games. But primetime games at nighttime, if you ask some of the players, they'd rather play under the lights. But that's just a primetime exposure, so
Ooh, I
it
got a
doesn't
good
make the
one too.
game.
Food
Okay.
shopping.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's less
Mhm.
people and all that. Most people still go during the day, but that's more effective and more efficient to go at night. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Get to Walmart's late.
And you
You
shopping
ain't
shit.
gotta worry about people grabbing and picking all over stuff. You can take your time. There's nobody in the lines.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Flying. Flying. How did I forget about flying? Ooh.
Oh, see, I don't think I've ever flown at night.
Do it. Do
I've
it. Do
never
it.
flown at night. Yep. Now I think about it, it's always been during the day. Nope. I've
It's
never
pretty
flown at night.
cool. It's pretty cool. I think just being outside at night is better than the day. I don't know. Just generally, most things are better at night outside than the day.
Good one.
Mhm.
Had some tilt in it, boy. It took me a while on that last one.
Yeah, well, I mean, like when you're on the quote unquote clock, it's like, I don't know. And when you finally get it out, you're like, oh, here's 9 more. It's like, yes,
I'm
yes,
sitting up here looking at a candle right now. Burning candles.
yeah,
Can't burn no
yeah,
candles in the daytime. Silly.
yeah.
All right.
I mean, incense is a good one too at night because it has whatever relaxing placebo properties that it pretends to have. Those
Mm-hmm.
are fun. I also love incense.
All
Yeah.
right.
Daytime sucks generally. Like that's kind of what I've learned. There's nothing good about daytime.
I've always been a night person my whole life.
Yeah, daytime's awful. Like they should just
Well,
eliminate it.
I do not like mornings. I've always been a night person.
Yeah, mornings don't bother me. I'm fine with it. Um,
Here's a
like
song.
midday is the bane of my existence. I just can't. I just don't.
Midday, yeah. Like midday.
Everyone's
There's a
like
song that's out.
everyone's alive and fucking doing stuff. It's like, get away from me. God damn it, go away.
You feeling freaky. You want to be out at night. Freaks come out at night. They don't
Yeah.
come out during the day. Freaks come out at day. No, that don't even sound right. Freaks come out at
No,
night.
no. Unless you're on the south side.
Yep. You'll catch a bunch of freaks in the daytime.
Yes, sir. All right, so here is the plan here. So from a Patreon standpoint, I will be recording something either Saturday or Sunday, not sure which day. I'm gonna try to not work too long on Sunday, so it'll probably be Sunday. I'll probably be working a considerable amount on Saturday. Now, question for you: when do we want to record this NFL one for the Patreon? Like, I
uh,
feel like we need to make a date so we can then start to work on it and actually have a deadline.
hmm.
Because I feel like I operate better when I actually have a deadline. So I want to know when we can do this.
Hmm. I don't know. I can tell you. I don't have any dates just in mind. I just know that probably gonna have to be Saturday or Sunday, maybe a Sunday, because
Oh yeah, I figured that, but I'm saying like, you know, because I also don't want to stray too far away from the football season either.
yeah, but pretty much my head is pretty much over.
Yeah.
uh, I don't know. I want to shoot for maybe next Sunday. Definitely not this Sunday. I got a lot of shit to tackle with my
Okay.
with my
All
job.
right. So not this Sunday. We'll do. Let me see. Oh shit. Um, that would be what, March 2nd. All right. So March 2nd.
Tentative date. We try it. Yeah.
Okay.
My thing is, it all depends on what's going on The world of employment. I tell you, it's just been getting crazier and crazier and crazier. You know,
Yeah.
filling in shoes for people. It's like from the minute I start to the minute I end, I'm at full go. Oh
Yeah.
man,
Yeah. No, that's no fun.
yeah.
Well, we got the plan there. So March 2nd, we'll have that all squared away. Let's put up a duck, play a song, say a
You need the
saying.
computer to put up the ducks.
No.
All right. Well, that being said, ducks to be fed.
Quack, 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 quack. Goodbye. Quack, quack, quack. You ducks.
Have a good one. Sick a duck.